This is a new lesson, and this is a pretty challenging lesson, especially if I try to do it all in one day, which is what I tried to do with the other class, and then I changed my mind. So I'm going to be going back and forth from this screen that you see right here to my hand and doing a few different problems. So at certain points, I will ask you to jump in and help me out, but not quite yet, not quite yet, not quite yet. This is our warm-up, though. This is stuff that you can look at and be like, oh, this is easy. Puh. I look at this stuff and I laugh. -3 is being multiplied to a parentheses. What does that mean? Distributive property. -3 times x is -3x. And a -3 times 2 is a -6. And on the left side, what didn't change is 6 equals. Can I zoom? I am. I zoomed. Is x all by itself? No. What is in the way? Well, I have a -6 over here that's just floating around, and I have a -3 right here that's being multiplied to x. Always get rid of the number that's floating around first by doing the opposite. In this case, add 6 to both sides. Add 6 to both sides. Cross u out. 6 plus 6 is 12, and that equals -3x. Those of you who are on the chat, if you want to throw your answer in the chat ahead of time, that's perfectly acceptable. I will not scream at you. Edna already did. So if I were to divide both sides by -3, divide both sides by -3, I would get negative, and I'm going to write it super small, -4 equals x. Well, I don't like the way that looks. X equals -4. Boom. Now, Zamir thinks he knows the answer to the second one. And if he's wrong, we're going to all gather together and laugh at him and make fun of him as best that we can to teach him a lesson about being a smart aleck. All right. Oh, look at these Johns right next to each other. Look at these Johns right next to each other. If I have two variables literally right next to each other, like 5v and 2v, and that's like saying, I have 5 Valentines, and I also have 2 Valentines. Don't you have 7 Valentines? That sounds a lot like my middle school years. I'm just joking. Oh, most of the time I had none. -12 equals 2 plus 7v. All right, so all I did was combine like terms. Now is v all by itself? No, I have 2 that's floating around and the 7 that's being multiplied to v. So I know I have to subtract 2 at some point, and I have to divide 7 at some point. Which one should I do first? Subtract 2. -2 minus 2. -12 minus 2 is -14. That equals 7v. So we have to see if we're going to be able to bully our friend Zamir. We're going to have to see if we get to bully him. Other people are saying it's -2 also. I don't know. Divide both sides by 7. Divide both sides by 7. And it's -2. Gosh darn it! Ugh! I wanted to make him feel bad. Not today. Boy, he was a real pain here, wasn't he? His last name's Payne. Okay. What are we doing today? I will be able to solve equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. Well, that's completely different than what we've done before. Looking at these warm-up problems, I only had a variable on the one side. I had 2 variables, but they were on the one side. Both sides of the equal sign? How the heck am I going to do that? Well, let's see what we do. It's a multi-step process. that if you just pay attention, keep your mouth shut, and follow me, you'll be just fine. Follow me, and I will bring you rest. All right. So I have an M on the left. So this is what I mean on both sides of the equal sign. Here's my equal sign. I'm pointing at it. I have an M over here, and I have on the left side of it, and I have an M on the right side of it. I'm not just going to combine them. I'm not just going to be like M and 2M is 3M's. No, they're on different sides. And if you remember, if I want something to go on the other side, I have to do the opposite. Well, this is step number 1. If I have an M on the left and an M on the right, I want to get rid of the smallest M first. Okay, one more time. If I have a variable on the left and a variable on the right, I want to get rid of the smallest variable first. I have an M and a 2M, so the smallest variable is M. How do I get rid of an M that's just floating around on the left? Do the opposite of M, which is minus M. How do I make an M go away? Just take away that M. Take away means minus. We cross that out. What drops down? -4 drops down. Equals 2M, 2 marshmallows. Take away marshmallow, leaves me with marshmallow, just one of them. And if you're like, am I really done already? I sure am. I sure am. And M equals -4. Let me look at the chat and see how many LOLs I got on that one. I got boring. Okay. I got an LO. There's an LOL. All right. Oh, another one. Oh, it's my lucky day. So many LOLs. So what did I do? Well, I had an M on the left and I had an M on the right. So I got rid of one of the M's. I got rid of one of the M's, and the way I got rid of it is I subtracted it. So if you have variables on both sides of the equal sign, you're going to eliminate one of those variables first. Eliminate one of those variables first. And the way you do that is you add it or subtract it from both sides. And then the rest of it is just going to be soups easy, baby. It's just going to be soups easy, baby. So let's do a couple. So on the left side, I have 3K minus 1. On the right side, I have 7K plus 2. So I have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. And according to what I just wrote out here, if there are variables on both sides, eliminate one of the variables first, add or subtract. All right, so I have a 3K and I have a 7K. Which one should I get rid of first? I want to get rid of the smaller one, so somebody type in
3.
Oh, or say it. I'm going to get rid of the 3K. How should I get rid of that 3K?
You minus the 3K
Mm-hmm.
from both sides.
From both sides. Beautifully said. Minus 3K. Minus 3K. Cross that out. Notice that when I wrote minus 3K, I wrote minus 3K underneath the K's because they're like terms. So the left side, the 3K kills off the 3K, and then those 3Ks are gone. On the left side, I now have -1 equals. On the right side, I have 7K minus 3K, which is 4K plus 2. Now what?
Now you minus the 2 from both sides.
Sure. Sure. I owe $1. I now owe somebody else $2. In total, I owe $3. Maybe I should get a job. Is K all by itself?
No.
Divide by 4. Divide by 4. Cross U out. It's a fraction. So if you're looking at that and you're like, he did something wrong because you can't do -3 divided by 4 and have it be a nice answer. Nope, I can't. So I have -3 over 4 equals K, or K equals -3 over 4. Benson, are you scratching yourself? Okay. I diagnosed you with broke. I don't know what that means. All right, so that's the answer to 2. Okay. We had variables on both sides of the equal sign. And when we have variables on both sides of the equal sign, get rid of the smaller variable first. Okay, now let's take a look at 3. I have variables, again, on both sides of the equal sign. I have a 6x on the left. I have a 5x on the right. I want to get rid of one of those variables first. Which one should I get rid of?
The 5x.
Yeah, sure. If I have a 5x that's just floating around, how do I get rid of the 5x that's just floating around?
You minus it from both sides.
You do. You do. And this is great. This is easy. Somebody whose last name is not Benson, because I know she knows and I want to hear from somebody else. If I have 6x, and you can easily type this in the chat too. If I have 6x and I take away 5 of them, I'm left with, as David said, 1x, which means x. And in this case, x equals 22, or as I like to call it, the Taylor Swift special. I don't know about you.
No.
No, cancel. I was going to erase that ugly circle that I made. Just did. And try the circle again. But I'm feeling 22. Everything will be all right. You keep me next to you. You don't know about me. But I bet you want to. So let me switch cameras. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras so that I can do a few other problems. Stop presenting with my fat hand. Oh, my hands are so fat. My hands are so fat. Thank you, Zamir. I got 100 on this mouse. I get 100 on every mouse. All right. This is where I really want you guys to jump in and help me out. I probably shouldn't call this 1. The last problem I did was 3, so I'll call it 3.1. How about 4x plus 8 equals 2x minus 4? Yes, I'm recording this on YouTube, David. Now, unmute yourself and tell me what I should do first. Or you could put it in the chat.
2x minus 2x.
So I have an x on the left, I have a 4x on the left, and I have a 2x on the right. A 4x on the left and a 2x on the right. Get rid of one of them. And Benson said, let's get rid of the 2x on the right because it's smaller. So Jory said here, subtract 2x, cross u out. On the left, I have 4x minus 2x, which is 2x. Drop down the plus 8, drop down the equals, drop down the minus 4. Somebody whose last name is not Benson. And Benson, your voice is like the voice of an angel. So stop it.
Ew.
Not you. Somebody else. Tell me what I do now.
Take away the positive 8.
Take away the positive 8 from both sides. Take away the positive 8 from both sides. That gives me 2x equals negative, what is that, 12. And then, and then,
You want me to say it?
go ahead. Up, yep, 2 people already did. 3 people already did. 4 people already did. Divide 2, and Alexander gave me the answer, x equals negative 6. All right, so I never said that these problems would be super easy, but I think this group is kind of picking up on it. All right, so let's complicate things a little bit. Okay, Avril Lavigne once told us, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? Well, life is hard. Life is hard, boys and girls. And Benson, I'm going to mute you because we're tired of hearing your heavy breathing. I'm kidding. I love it. I love your heavy breathing, but I'm muting you anyway. Switch camera, because you don't want to stare at my hand. You'd rather stare at this. And let's go back to the presentation so you can see it a little bit. All right. No, wrong one. Sorry. I wanted to go to this one. All right. Let's watch a video. And this video is going to be taking what we just learned, and I'm adding distributive property to it.
All right, distributive property everywhere. We have -3 multiplied to a parentheses. We also have just a regular old negative multiplied to a parentheses. So let's get to it. -3 times +2x is -6x. -3 times -5 is +15. Negative times 6 is -6. Negative times +5x is -5x. Now what we have to do is we have to get rid of one of these x's, because there's an x on the left and an x on the right. I'm going to add the 6x from the left, because I know by adding a 6x to a -5x right here, I'm going to get just an x. -6 drops down, that's a +x. 15 drops down. In order to get x all by itself, I add 6. I add 6. 21 equals x, or x equals 21.
No, it does not count as copyright if I show my own video. Blippi does it all the time. All right, so 4 has nothing to do with the video that we just watched. So let me see if I can remember what to do. I have a -24 on the left. I also have a -8p on the left. I have a 4p on the right. Now, Jory told me what I want to do first, and I'm going to get rid of the smallest variable, and the smallest variable is -8p. And the way you do that is you add 8p to both sides. So I'm going to add 8p to both sides, add 8p to both sides. When I do that, I drop down the -24 equals 4p plus 8p is 12p. So I'm kind of waiting for the chat, or I'm waiting for anybody to jump in. Alexander's giving me the answer already. Nobody's divide by 12, 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 and p equals -2. Good job, friends. Good job, everybody. Now, the right side is kind of like the video that we just watched. You can see it's very, 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 very tiny down there, the video that we just watched. I have distributive property. Distributive property everywhere. Distributive property everywhere. What did it? Oh, we did it. I'm sorry. That's Dora, right? Dora the Explorer? Yes. I'm going to do distributive property. So please chime in. What does 2W become after multiplying it by 12? 24. 24 what, Jory? 24W. Quick on the typewriter she is. And 12 times negative 3. Now, Vita said 36, but there's one thing that I want to make sure I understand I have to put in front of it. Yeah, good. Negative 36. And that's going to equal 6W. Now, I know this isn't going to look great. Okay, but bear with me here. This is not going to look pleasant, but bear with me. I have a 24W on the left, and I have a 6W on the right. Okay, and I always have been saying this entire time, get rid of the smallest variable if you have variables on both sides of the equal sign. And why would I go back? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 6W from both sides. Minus 6W minus 6W, cross U out. Now, if you're like, the entire right side just crossed out, you did something wrong. No, I didn't. I have 18W minus 36 equals 0. You're allowed to have 0 on one side of the equal sign. But the rest is just easy. What do I do to both sides? What do I do to both sides? I think Vita, oh, never mind. What do I do to both sides? You can unmute or you can type it in. Are we all quiet now? I bet you when we're in person, you're all going to be like, blah, 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 chatty, chat, chat. But now we all quiet. Add 36 is correct, mister. I get 100% on everything. So let's add 36. Let's add 36. That's supposed to be 36 over there. Cross you out. 18W equals 36. Now what do I do? Mr. Question Mark? Now what do I do? I know it's 36, but my writing is bad because I'm writing on a screen. Divide by 18, divide by 18, and I ran out of room. W equals I'm waiting for someone to type out the answer, but 2. Gross. Gross. So if you see distributed property, you should always do that first. If you have to combine like terms, then do that. Combine like terms next. Then do what we've been doing. Eliminate one of the variables, the smaller one, by subtracting it probably or maybe even adding it to both sides, and then solve the rest like a regular equation. So let's see how much time we have left in this class so I don't accidentally overdo it. 13 minutes. So we can do a couple more problems, and I can feel good doing a couple more problems and then kicking you guys out of my Google Meet and out of my life for the day. So problem 6, what do we do first? Type it in or say it. Multiply, multiply. Distributive property is what I'm assuming you meant. So I have 2 times n 2n. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 equals 4n plus 1. I have a 2n on the left and a 4n on the right. What do I do to both sides? Unmute yourself or type it. I have a 2n on the left and I have a 4n on the right. Joy said subtract 2n. I agree 1,000%. Minus 2n minus 2n. What drops down is the negative 6 equals 4n minus 2n is 2n plus 1. Now what do I do? Subtract 1. I agree again. 2 of my friends said it at the same time. So I have negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. That equals 2n. We all know what to do next. Divide by 2. And you might be like, oh no, it's a fraction. I did it wrong again. No, you didn't. Negative 7 over 2 is a fraction. And we're going to leave it like that. N equals negative 7 over 2. Okay. Let's do that one. And then we're going to do like 2 more. Someone type out what, after I do distributive property, somebody type out or say what the left side is going to turn into. And then somebody type out or say what the right side is going to turn into. Just going to stretch. Ugh. Ooh. Ooh. Boy, I sure wish people were brave. 3z plus 6, that's the right side. Good. How about the left side? 6z, not 6z. 8z minus 2. I love it. I love it. 8z minus 2. I have an 8z on the left. I have a 3z on the right. Which one should I get rid of first and how? Three z. So I'm going to get rid of the 3z by subtracting it out. Minus 3z minus 3z. I have 8 zebras, and the zebra bandit takes away 3 of them. Now I only have 5 zebras. What kind of life is that? Drop down to minus 2 equals 6. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So now I have 5z equals 8. I'm going to divide everything by 5, as one of you said. And I have a fraction again. And my fraction is 8 over 5. But it's improper. It's improper, you might say. I don't care. I don't care that it's improper. Ugh. So I'm going to stop presenting, and I'm going to move over to my hand again. That was problem 7. So I'm going to call this John right here 7.1. And this is how we're going to end the day. I'm going to let you guys guide the entire problem the best that you can. I have. Well, what do I do first? You can either unmute yourself or you can just. What do I do first? 2 words is all I need, and I'll be happy. Don't you want to make me happy? Ms. Patel is right, but what's that process called?
Distributive property.
Hooray, David! Distributive property. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times -1 is -2, and several of you already said that in the chat. That's going to equal x plus 5. I have 2x on the left. I have x on the right. Which one should I get rid of first, and what should I do? I could add 2, but let's focus on getting rid of the variables first. So you're not wrong, because eventually I will add 2. Eventually, but that's next. What should I do first to get rid of one of these x's? Get rid of x's sounds like what I want to do in my dating history, right, bros? Someone said subtract 2x. Okay. Let's
That's why you don't scare me. Like,
what? What, David?
something fell in my room and I got scared.
Kick David out and never invite him back.
Please don't.
Okay. All right. So Vita said, let's subtract 2x. Okay. I would have subtracted. So this is what one of you suggested, add 2. I could do that. One of you said subtract 2x. I could do that. I would subtract regular x because it's smaller. But you know what? Let's do minus 2x and see what happens. I'm going to bring down the -2. I'm going to bring down the equals. 1x minus 2x is -1x. And I'm going to bring down the plus 5. Now this is what we're doing now. We're forced into this mess. Now we have to do it. What do I do to both sides? You can either unmute yourselves or you can type it in the thing. What do I do to both sides?
-5.
-5, baby. -5, -5. -2 minus 5 is -7. And that equals -1x. Is x all by itself? No. What's in the way? Fine. How do I get rid of -1 if it's being multiplied to x? Divide by -1. Good. 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 And somebody type in what I get. I'm shaking with anticipation. 7. All of these 7s. Look at that.